All right, hey, I'm just checking in because I finished another book, and that is The Outsider by Stephen King. This is the first book in the Holly Gibney series, I guess, because I believe it's still ongoing. I think he's actually releasing the fourth book in this Holly Gibney story this month, I think. It might be the third book. It might not even be Holly Gibney, actually. I think it is, though. What a start to this video. I got all my facts straight. But Holly Gibney is a character from the Bill Hodges trilogy. I believe that's where she first debuted, which you can see my 3 Bill Hodges books right here. And it is more of a crime, supernatural crime is kind of how to describe this. And I do think that's important to know going into this book in particular, is that there is a lot of supernatural things happening. It is not all based in reality. I went into this not knowing that there was supernatural stuff happening, and it kind of threw me for a little bit of a loop halfway through because, well, I'll get into it. So you kind of really have one main character through at least the first half of this book, and that is Ralph Anderson. He is a detective who is trying to solve this case of an 11-year-old boy who was brutally raped with a tree branch and murdered and left out in the woods, and it was this gross, terrible scene. There was a lot of witnesses that saw one particular man, Terry Maitland, coming out of the woods or going into the woods or being around the crime scene area. A lot of different people corroborated the same similar story of seeing him there. Well, after his very public arrest, because he is a Little League coach, and they decided to arrest him in the middle of a game, which is just stupid anyway. After they made that arrest, they find out he has a good alibi and proof that he wasn't anywhere in town. He was somewhere else at a conference. He was seen on camera at this conference and asking a question, and you could tell it's him. They find DNA there to prove that he was there, but they also find DNA at the crime scene to prove that he was at the crime scene. So how can he be 2 places at once? There was no real hint to anything being supernatural throughout the first 40% of this book, and so I was thinking, wow, yeah, how did he do that? How is this gonna play out? And then it's kind of explained away by some supernatural stuff, which is fine. I just wasn't expecting it. I was expecting an actual solution to this case, and not just horror magic. But for what it was really enjoyable. Holly Gibney comes into the story literally over halfway through the book. I forgot that she was going to be a part of it at all. She's not mentioned on the back anywhere. She's not mentioned in the first part of the book, and then suddenly she's called in to help solve this crime. And this is after Bill Hodges is dead, and her confidence isn't all the way there right now of whether or not she can actually solve a case on her own. But she's still her classic Holly self, being kind of socially awkward and weird. Side note, I did listen to the audiobook on part of this book as well, and Holly's voice is god-awful. I absolutely hate the way that he does Holly's voice. It's unbearable to listen to. But that's beside the point. That's just for the audiobook. The actual writing of her is great. I love Holly as a character. But when Holly arrives on the scene, they do discover that there's other cases very similar to the one in this book, the main one with Terry Maitland and the kid with the branch, and they find all of these little connections that kind of connect all of these crimes together. And so there's a lot of crime work and normal detective stuff, and then there's a lot of trying to convince each other that this is actually this Mexican monster, El Cuco or whatever its name was. But it is very enjoyable. I thought it was good almost all the way through. I would have appreciated there being maybe more hints of it being a supernatural thing at the beginning, or maybe I should have just expected it going into this so that it was going to be a supernatural solution, because I always feel kind of rubbed the wrong way when it's set up like it could be a completely real case, real thing, and then it's just kind of like, oh no, it's just magic, demon magic. kind of rubs me the wrong way. I could be the only one, and maybe it was just my poor expectations going into the book. I have no idea, but regardless, I did enjoy my time with this. I'm going to pick up the next book in the Holly Gibney series or whatever. I don't even know which one it is. I think Holly is one, and maybe Institution or Institute or whatever. I honestly don't remember. And then, like I said, I think he's releasing another one this month. So I do got to catch up on the Holly story because I do enjoy it. With that being said, I think I'm going to leave it there. I don't want to spoil anything in the story, really, because there are some really cool moments, honestly, that happen, and some cool tense scenes, some pretty horrific little scenes in this book as well. So anyways, I appreciate y'all for sticking around, and thanks.